Okay.
All right, so if you go to customer relationship management, you go to setup,
Okay.
and let's go into task. All right, so basically what happens is Epic provides the capability to have task sets so that we can see, for example, we could say that when we create a new quote, there's a certain task set that has to be, there's a flow that has to follow, right? So, first you create the quote, then we go get approvals, that could be like a set of steps that can be followed.
Okay.
Because you guys only quote to 2 or 3 people, and it's just, one person does all the work, having all these tasks would be redundant. Right, unless you wanted to check for yourself. Yes, I did not done that. Yes, I've done that. Yes, I've done that. So if you're afraid on your own part that I might miss some things, and we might actually set up a real task set. But if realistically, if there's one person doing everything and there's no approvals needed, usually we just set up a task set called default that doesn't contain any real tasks that need to be done.
I like the task piece everything.
It does, but it makes extra steps before you can do anything. Right, so for example, I can't close a quote until I've completed all 5 tasks. Right, so if I'm completing all 5 tasks, I click on the task, say yes, I completed it. When I complete it, yes, this is the person going to next, who's myself. Go to the next task, say the same thing. Go to the next task, say the same thing. Go to the next task, say the same thing. That said, if you want that sort of
I want that at the beginning to fully understand it.
system,
Right?
let's
full so they don't try to cheat it. Just kind of do the full system. And then at that point, once you understand it, it's like,
I'll show you. So let's set it up. Yeah, let's set it up, and then you actually might still want it. So we'll do a new task ID. So let's just do a new task. It's going to force us to create a task type as well. Actually, can you hit undo? I want to see if there's any tasks that are already created. There might be a default or something like that already there. Do a search. Cool. Yeah. So just hit OK on that. All right, so this might be the last task that we have in a set. Right, completing the quote. Right, that would be the last task that would happen in the set. So let's keep right home where it says action. We already set up a role code for this task type here. Open with task type entry. So tasks are broken down into types. Right. These types can be whatever you want. We set them up. Generally speaking, we have actions. And that's the main task type is an action, or some people like to break it down where you have actions or approvals or those types of things. For now, I think having just action would be the best way to go. Every task will be an action that has to be completed.
So does this carry over into finance as well? If you can say step by step for various things like AR?
Some of these do, yeah.
That might be good.
So on that side, when you're talking a lot about that, then there might be some more things you set up in here.
Or
Bills, yeah, when we talk about that. But on this front right now, having one task type called action will suffice for the tasks that we're going to create. So just note, this will be a DMT, task types.
Okay.
All right, so we'll talk about that after we go. We already have action, so let's close that. All right, so we have a complete quote. Let's create a new task. So what would be the first thing that you want to have as a task type when you're doing a quote? Like, what's the first action somebody says they have to complete? Quote created or basic information entered or customer information entered type of thing.
what do I?
See, this is where you have to break it out. Like, at what point do you want somebody to come back into your task list and say, yes, I've done that? Right? At what point in the process do you want somebody to come back and check that box? That's kind of what we're looking for.
I see. So pretty much a review of numbers.
Okay, so there's a review. So maybe that's task. Would that be task 1 or task 2? Some companies like to have task 1 basically be customer info, right? So you've entered the info, you've got the need by date, you've got all your fields entered on that. Customer info is done. Check that off, and I can come back to that later if I need to. If I enter the quote right away.
Yeah, I like that.
So
I think it's like customer information first.
Okay, so actually, I'm sorry to make you hit undo one more time. I want to see what kind of task ID we used. It's like T001. which is fine. So we use T002 for our next task.
Okay, so back to
So,
new.
yeah, now back to new. Now you can. Yeah. And in the description, customer info entered, or not sure if it's a better word.
If you
Perfect. That's fine. All right. So we'll leave the priority where it is. What this priority allows us to do is if somebody has tasks all over the place, because what we can do with task lists, for example, is maybe Simon's entering to customer info, showing the quotes. Right? She gets the quote, she enters the customer info, she creates the quote, leaves a blank template for somebody else to use. She checks off that and then assigns it to Judy or assigns it to you. Right? Then you go look at your task list, and based on the priority of the next task, it shows up at the top of the list or the bottom of the list, right? So if there are tasks, for example, maybe review quote, that are really high priority, those show at the top of the list, and the other ones show up underneath that.
So like 100% view. That's fine.
Yeah, 100%. Like that's your highest priority, right? So generally speaking, we leave most of these at 50 because they are about equal priority, and that way you can sort by date. Right? So customer info entry, we'll do this the first one, task type. If you want to drop that down, and just select action.
So is this under case management?
No, this is under customer relationship. Here's task. Yeah, go there. So the roll code, drop that down. So who's going to do this based on the roll codes we set up previously? Probably sales.
Right.
Sales. Is this task manageable? We have to complete this task if the task is in the list. Right? Yes. In this case, yes. If this task is in the list, we have to complete it. Right? The rest of them we're going to leave unchecked. We don't want to send alerts for these. We actually don't have the alert system set up, so we wouldn't send alerts anyway. And we don't want a password to be required for this. So go ahead. It's okay. Go to the task anyway. So it's save.
Yeah,
And there you go. Now go new. Do a new task. No, that's not new. I meant new, yeah. And then task 003. So what task happens after the customer info happen? What's the next checkpoint? You want to say the next checkpoint might be quotes engineered, for example. So all the parts are in there. Like quote lines complete or something along those lines. Or parts entered, or what do you want to call this?
Back to T001 is the first task.
No, it's not actually.
That's just
It's just the ID. The first task is going to be customer info entered. What we're doing right now is we're actually creating a list of possible tasks, and then we're going to create a task set that orders those tasks.
Okay, so we're gonna list them, and then
we can list them in whatever order we want. It doesn't matter. We're just using the T003, T001 to keep things less confusing for IDs.
So I guess the BOM, like bill of materials.
Bill of materials. Make this BOM entered. Save that. Do one more task. After the bomb's entered, I would say review has to happen. Do quote review. I get this mandatory as well. All right, so we have our 4 tasks in our task set. I think that sounds about right. You're going to task 2 on 3.
What would be feasibility? Be a task. Feasibility is the time you can take the work.
So would that be part of the review, or would that be an extra task?
It would have to be a part of the group.
So, like, what I guess what I'm asking is, do you want to have a checkbox for quote review and then a checkbox for feasibility, or do you want to have just a checkbox for review and you know that when you check off review, that means you have to have checked to make sure that it's feasible for the company to do it? So let's leave it at 4 for now. We can make extras later.
What was the question? You just asked.
Basically,
Yeah,
he mentioned that he wanted another task called deep feasibility, right? The issue with that would be that part of the whole review process would probably be to do that, right? So having 2 separate tasks for that would be redundant, and somebody has to go and check off that task box. The more redundant clicks you have, the less people are willing and will do those items, right? If there's these extra clicks I have to go through to do these things, I don't want to do that, so I just end up not doing any. So we got our 4 tasks in here. That's our starting points. Let's close task maintenance. And let's jump into task set. This is where we're going to create a new task set. So let's go file a new task set. Task set ID, just call this quote. All caps.
All caps?
Yeah, just do all caps. Just.
Oh.
Description, call this quote task set or main quote task set. Select workflow type. Should be one called CRM. So those are the 4 spots we have workflows like this. CRM, time and expense, engineering, I think CRM 30, all the different here. So go ahead and save. And we file new. New milestone. I dropped the menu down. Yeah. New milestone. Yeah. All right. So first task in our task set, sequence 10. Let's drop down the tasks. And the first thing we're going to do is customer info entry. Right. So let's select that. Current stage. Drop that down. Right now, if the customer info is entered, it's still just a lead. Right. Or actually, it might be an opportunity at this point if we're actually entering something. It's up to you guys. Where do you want this quote to sit in your system when the customer info is the only thing that's entered? Probably a lead. When we get the bottom finished, then it's an opportunity. And when we complete it, then it's a quote. Okay, that's what we're looking at. Let's make the current state lead. This is our first milestone. Let's check off that box. Yeah. And these 2 check boxes are both not checked off. We can't win or leave the quote at this point. Right, so that can't happen. How many days do we have to complete this task?
Standard, what could take what?
It could take, I know it could take only half an hour, but it does have a number of days set up. So usually you put 0 or 1.
Days to complete the task of entry the customer information.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
As opposed to the days that this may stay open or whatever.
Yeah, no, it's just days to complete the task of every customer. So when I hit new quote, this clock starts ticking. When I check off that task box saying the customer info is entered, the clock stops ticking. How many days do you want for that process? Probably 1, right? Like, you don't want it. If you could put half a day, you would, but let's get the day. I believe it's an integer, so
It's safe.
yeah, it's safe.
I mean, that's stopped right there.